If you're living within flood-prone communities, especially close to the banks of Ogun River, you may ask yourself how prepared you are for imminent flood overtaking your environment when you least expect. Well, this report is to enable you prepare when water from the Oyan Dam is released.
It's always a sorry sight for residents of Lagos-Ogun border communities when the resultant flood from the opening of the Oyan Dam ensues, a multi-purpose structure within the purview of the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority. At least 22 communities in low-lying areas, including Mile 12, Ketu, Owode, Oronshoki and Bariga, are often overrun by flooding with deaths and damage to property and businesses. In some of the affected areas, canoeing is the transportation of choice to convey residents who are trapped in their various houses.
What we need in this community is all the community. If you can help us, if water comes, it cannot enter village or town. So we want to feed the land to the level that anytime rain comes, we don't want anybody to have a problem.
The flow there is too much inside our community here. So everywhere we just full up for water so that we are trying to fill our areas so that with sand or at times with filling. So and we are tired of it. At times we are using canoe inside the community like this so that to carry them when we are coming back from market. So that we need help from federal government.
It's worse in communities along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Human and material losses are reported in Isheri North, Arikpo, Magboro and Ibafor areas of Ogun State. These experiences may recur as the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority is set to release a large volume of water from the Oyan dams in the month of September and October.
Last time they opened the flood, it was actually terrible. And most residents relocated from their houses. It affected schools. School children were unable to come to school. Some businesses were actually shut down because of the water. So we are asking the government to please, before they open the dam, if they want to open it for this year, they should find an urgent solution to the water. I think they should bring an expert to evaluate what is on ground and see what solution they can give urgently. But it won't be good for them to open the water now without them getting a solution to it, because we don't know how it's going to go this time around.
The managing director of the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority, Olufemi Odumosun, explains that water released from this dam is anchored by hydrometeorological information and rainfall patterns. The dam will release an average of 13 to 15 million gallons of water per day.
By September, we are likely to increase the water releases to an average of about 7 to 9 million cubic meters per day, while at the same time preparing for the main flood. You know, I mentioned that the peak of the flood season is always in October. So in October, we intend maximizing the created space in the reservoir. You know, I mentioned that we'll reduce it in August to impound more water and release it at a controlled average rate of 13 to 15 billion cubic meters per day, or less as to allow other major and uncontrolled tributaries to River Ogun to discharge into the sea, you know. So, you know, downstream, there are still other tributaries that enter Ogun River. So we have to take into consideration that those inflows into the will still compound or cause some downstream flow. So we have to regulate how we release, especially in that same October, so as not to create a kind of flood peak downstream. And of course, we also release water to desilt the dam.
While these residents appeal for help, the Lagos state government says the best option for residents is to relocate to higher ground.
I will say that what we are doing is to prepare that there will be no negative impact of the flood incidents. because there's every likelihood that there will be flooding from predictions that we've had. And mind you, it's not as if the dam is doing anything unusual. What they're basically just doing is that the dam has a capacity, but with the new rainfall events taking place up north of Lagos, the dam cannot hold anything in excess of that capacity. So they just have to open their gates and whatever any new inflow just to pass out. And Lagos being the most downstream will be at the receiving end. So what we're doing at our own end is to ensure that our people that are already domiciled within the low-lying areas of Lagos State have been warned to be on the lookout. There could be flooding, there might be no flooding. It's a probability. But there are predictions that there will be flooding. So we have said for the time, now that we're having some dry spell, people should make relocation plans out of the wetland, because we have gone to live in the wetlands without making any adequate preparation to mitigate the flooding situation. So the resiliency there now is for people to be on the alert. Like we get, information from the Ogun River Basin Development Authority over time in terms of the data of what they are releasing. When we compare it, and we have some river gauges along the Ogun River. So once the stage of the river keeps increasing and increasing, and it gets to any alarm, we will definitely give some heads up to the populace that, hey, the river gauge is increasing right now, this is what is being released, so we need to make those alternative plans, put them into play right now. So that is the kind of awareness that we're going to create.
To mitigate the foreseen flooding of this year, downstream of the Oyan Dam, the Ogun River Basin Authority is asking stakeholders to always monitor the rain forecast in their area so as to have a probable idea of what may likely be the effect on their immediate environment. Oyan Dam is located in Abeokuta North Local Government Area and is 15 kilometers away from the state capital, with a reservoir capacity of 270 million cubic meters covering an approximate area of 40 square kilometers. Oyan Dam serves as a water supply channel to Ogun, its host community, and Lagos, and has an irrigation infrastructure, hydropower generators, and 4 radial gates for flood control and maximum water release during the rainy season.